It's crunch time for fantasy drafts, so I had to bring on the king of fantasy YouTube, Mason Dodd, aka Fantasy Flock, to get his favorite player targets, stacks, and sleepers in drafts. We then hop in a Best Ball Mania draft where we compete for $2 million, get thrown a curveball early, but then find a way to build a juggernaut team. I'm Pete Overzet. This is the Deposit Kingdom. Let's get to it. All right, Mason Dodd, it is go time for getting our final best ball drafts in. So I got to know, what's your go-to structure in Best Ball Mania this year?
So this is going to be really a result of some of the ideas we're going to talk about later on. But I like capping my wide receivers this season. I'm really only taking 7 of these guys. And the reason for this is I'm trying to get as many of these wide receivers off before about wide receiver 50 in drafts, because that's where I feel like there is that pretty big teardrop. So whether that means I'm going 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 2 tight ends, whether that's 2 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 3 tight ends, whether that's me taking 1 less tight end or 1 fewer running back, switching it over to a wide receiver. But I've actually been going like kind of quantity over quality at the other positions. And this year kind of going quality over quantity at receiver.
Yes, I love that. And I mean, especially with how much the talent dries up. I mean, there's some intriguing rookies, some intriguing spike week guys, but no one you actually feel comfortable about, like being a legit breakout, being a total league winner. So I am with you on getting those wide receivers early. With that in mind, what is your favorite player target? Do you have a guy that you try not to leave a draft without?
So structurally, I think round 5, Devonta Smith is the easiest pick on the board. I mean, if we just go ahead and look at the volume that he had last year, while it was down across the entire Eagles offense, it was kind of the worst run out you possibly could have had for the receivers in Philadelphia, where the Eagles were just so far ahead in the majority of games that they played. Barkley stays fully healthy. They're able to just run the ball over and over again. Smith still just printed top 24 wide receiver seasons over and over and over again. Now you get to draft him as a wide receiver 3, which would be the worst finish he's ever had in his NFL career, coming off what, in my opinion, was kind of the worst case scenario for him when it comes to the passing volume in the overall offense. And then you have a couple outs for actual like elite mid wide receiver 1 seasons with such like an A.J. Brown injury, or you could get more so like a high-end wide receiver 2, low-end wide receiver 1 if the defense regresses or if maybe something happens to Barkley.
Do you like trying to grab Hurts first and then getting that stack? Because you can sometimes get Devonta Smith even at like pick 55, 56.
Yeah, so I actually, like, if you sort by entry fees and my exposures on Underdog, my most drafted quarterback is Hurts, and my most drafted wide receiver is Smith. Like, past 3 seasons, wide receiver 17, 18, and 13, and we really haven't seen him in a high-volume passing attack and or without A.J. Brown yet.
How about your favorite stack? I mean, we kind of, maybe I just heard it, Hurts and Devontae. You can double down on that, or if you got another one you like.
So, I mean, if I had to pick a different one, I actually like the idea of taking players at the end of the draft, specifically in Best Ball Mania drafts, that weren't drafted through the entire slate. Like, so last year, I actually, this time, was taking a lot of Sam Darnold, not because I had any idea if he was going to be good or not, but once McCarthy went down, I went, oh, okay, well, this is a free quarterback 3 that's going to be super low owned in comparison to the rest of the field. So I think something that you could do right now is just take Daniel Jones and one of the Colts pass catchers, whether that's like Daniel Jones and Tyler Warren, Daniel Jones, Josh Downs, almost the same as the Sam Darnold effect. I think with Daniel Jones, specifically in a Best Ball Mania tournament, where obviously it's going to be so specific into the Underdog tournament that you're drafting in, he should be lower owned in comparison to the rest of the field. But it is different on Underdog. Let me know what you think of this.
It's a really good point. And I think that the ADP, you know, where everybody's kind of like arguing about some of these rookie risers right now, and obviously, you know, Bill shooting up on the Commanders, even Ollie Gordon of late. And there's a huge difference between taking those guys in a time box contest, one that opens now and closes, where it's like you're paying premium sticker price and everyone is paying the same price for that, where there's still actually an advantage in Best Ball Mania where that guy just wasn't getting drafted. Ollie Gordon was not getting drafted all summer. So even though the price might give you sticker shock, it's a lot different in a contest that spans 4 months than one that just opened and is going to close in 3 days. And I do think drafters sometimes forget about that dynamic.
For sure. And it works the other way too, like where if you're looking at maybe drafting like Godwin, Ayuk, who used to go way higher in drafts. For me, it's like as of late in these tournaments that have been open since May, I am perfectly fine drafting the hell out of Chris Godwin, Brandon Ayuk, these players that have fallen 3+ rounds in ADP. Whereas if it's like a Underdog tournament that drops randomly on a Tuesday and it's going to fill on Thursday, it's like it's kind of easy to just fade the players there and then take them in the larger field contests that have been open forever anyway.
Yeah, and that is the beauty about playing more contests. I mean, there are guys that I barely select in Best Ball Mania that I have 20% exposure to in the Eliminator, which is an entirely different contest. And you can use the time box, the different formats to spread out your exposures where players make more sense. So I love that note. How about your favorite Galaxy Brain idea? Is there anything in conventional or unconventional? I know you like to scoop up those ADP values, but do you ever get weird in these drafts, Mason?
I feel like the big thing that I did a few years back that had a lot of success, and I feel like is almost becoming mainstream, is ignore the quote unquote running back dead zone. You go back 2 years ago, every single person that was drafting a fantasy football team thought it was the most important thing in the world to talk about the running back dead zone, and that running backs in rounds 5 and 6 had horrible historical hit rates and they could never be good values. We go back and look at what just happened, and those guys kind of crushed, and now nobody's talking about the dead zone. So I almost think that this is the slate that an extreme hero running back build or a pseudo zero running back build, it can work with this slate. I actually think, like, when you're looking at the ADPs of the running backs now that are going in rounds like 5 versus the wide receivers, I think the running back dead zone's kind of back. These guys have got pushed up, and to go hand in hand with that, I think a lot of these like 2017 drafted running backs, 2018 drafted running backs, I even throw Derrick Henry on this list. This is the year that they finally fall off, where we had them all like defying their age last year, where Mixon hit, Kamara hit, Henry hit. People are now acting like running back age doesn't matter. Nobody's talking about the running back dead zone anymore. And I think that honestly, it's going to make a very interesting outcome when the rookie running backs crush this year in the later rounds.
Before we hop into draft here, how about your favorite 18th round low-owned dart? You mentioned the Daniel Dimes backdoor stack, but anybody that you're trying to sneak in before you exit the draft?
So you already brought up Ollie Gordon, and I just want to hammer in one more time that like these guys that go from not being drafted through 80% of contest fill that all of a sudden pop up on the radar, I'm completely fine overdrafting them. Take Ollie Gordon a round before ADP, Chris Rodriguez a round before ADP, take Bill in the 11th round. It doesn't matter. I mean, if these guys hit, it can be reminiscent of what you had, obviously not to the same extent, but I mean, it's in the range of outcomes of Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua that weren't drafted all offseason. And then all of a sudden, starting a month before the year, they're on the radar. They start becoming round 17, round 18 picks. And then if you don't have them, it's just almost impossible to win a tournament. So I just would say like Ollie Gordon, it's not like I'm going to sit here and say he's the best player ever. Obviously, he had a decent collegiate profile early on, but I do like the idea of at the end of drafts right now, targeting players that weren't drafted through April, May, June, July.
For sure. Yeah, it is a really big edge, and people will get tripped up because they will see Ollie Gordon go in the 13th, 14th round, but it's like, one, that's not that meaningful of a rise. You look at the players who are going around him, and I always like to use the analogy that it's like if you were in an auction draft, those are still $1 players. He moved up maybe from a $1 to a $2 player. Like, you're not moving off of it. So you can't get by the raw rounds. It's more of a percentage rise in relative to what those players are actually worth. And it's not that big of a rise for those guys. Mason, I hopped us in a Best Ball Mania draft. We did one of these last year. I remember getting some pretty big ADP values when we recorded it. We'll see what we can do again here. We got the 105, which will give us some flexibility for, scooping up values, anticipating positional runs. Who do you tend to like to look at here at 1.5?
My exposures inside the first round are the most vanilla, the most boring exposures you could possibly imagine. The last thing I'm going to do is sit here and say, I've figured it out. I've cracked the code. We are all looking at the same 6 players, but y'all all missed this one thing. And player X is the one that we need this year, and player Y is a complete bum. If we're inside the top 6 picks, give me any of Bijan, Gibbs, Barkley, Chase, Jefferson, Lamb. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm the same way. You can see here, I do have some of my exposures layered in here via the Draft Caddy. 9.7% Gibbs, 5.6% Barkley, so a little light there. 6.5% Jefferson, 7.3% CMC, on and on, all around the 8 to 10 range. We're on the clock. Gibbs, Barkley, CMC, or a receiver? Who do you like?
Whatever running back you want.
Let's see here. I'm good with the Gibbs. I'm good with Gibbs here. Just play that ADP game. If you were ignoring ADP or say in your redraft ranks, how do you have those running backs?
Redraft ranks, I have Barkley over Gibbs. But again, I mean, I say the same thing in redraft. It's just personal preference, whoever you prefer between the two. It does seem like it's almost consensus at this point, though, to go Gibbs over Barkley.
Gibbs definitely more exciting. I think people get fearful that they are buying the top on Barkley, racking up all those touches. Even like you were mentioning, it's like they can't possibly throw less than they did last year. If the defense is a little worse, if they get in more shootouts, Barkley doesn't break break off more long runs. Like, I understand it's kind of easy to build a slight bear case against Barkley, but he still just seems like a terrifying fade.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted early in the offseason to rank Barkley RB3, but I just got down to it and I realized I don't have the stones to rank the best running back in the NFL and the best offense or the best team in the NFL any lower than like RB2. I'll throw Bijan ahead of him.
What do you like doing in this second round territory? It's definitely kind of a fluid spot these days.
In round 2, I still kind of just go best player available. And then if we end up not getting a receiver, if we don't take AJ Brown, if we don't take Ladd McConkey, I kind of pigeonhole myself into going, okay, well, I'm about to take 5 wide receivers straight. You just kind of have to play catch up at the position and do anything that you can to make sure you don't fall behind. Okay, I'm down for AJ Brown or Achane. I'm not taking Ladd McConkey here. There's no way.
Let's do AJ Brown. Would you ever do the Hurts, Devontae Smith premium double stack with these two?
So I actually did a $1,000 massive draft on the live stream last night, and I took AJ Brown round 2, Hurts round 4, and Smith round 5.
Yeah,
and I was excited to do it too. When Smith made it to me, I was like, hell yes, this is perfect.
All right, we start Jahmyr Gibbs. We go AJ Brown. We come back here. We'll see what is available. Anybody stand out to you on this board as
McBride or receiver, but I don't want to take Lamar because we have AJ Brown. I take Lamar in the 3rd if I don't have that potential Hurt stack. Here's my thought process. Let's take JSN.
Yeah.
I typically take McBride here in the 3rd if Harrison's already gone. However, if Harrison hasn't gone, it makes it a lot less likely that we get Kyler on the way back. And I believe that's the 8th round. In my experience, it's harder to get the Kyler stack. If Harrison and McBride are still on the board, if like the Chase team thinks they need to take Harrison for the week 17 bring back and I'm sitting at the 303, it's like perfect. I can take Trey McBride and then box out the Harrison team on Kyler.
So McLaurin goes, Daniel's still on the board. We'll see what he does here. How he goes Sutton. So how would you like to play this?
I'm down for Cook or Hurts. Up to you.
Let's see. I feel like we've set out on seeing if we can get this this double stack. You got it in the Mastiff. Let's see if we can get it in Best Ball Mania and get your favorite target here as well, Devontae Smith at pick 53.
What's your call of who you're taking at the 4-5 turn?
Yeah. So it's changed, right? Because Pickens and those guys used to live there. I'm doing a lot of Devontae Smith, Zay Flowers. I pull up. Travis Hunter, I pull up. I have been grabbing the Breece Hall dip as well, but this has really been kind of a choose your own adventure at wide receiver for me there. What about you?
Yeah, I think if we get Breece here in the 5th, just ADP value in comparison to all the other drafts that were in Best Ball Mania, you kind of have to go Breece in the 5th.
I can't believe this guy is going to get. Is he going to get Jaden? And
hey, what did I say? That could have been us. That could have been us.
Could have been us. Yeah, let's take Breece. I know it's so crazy there where I'm like, that is us. If he falls like one more pick.
Yeah, and I was sitting there going like, oh, the Hurts team's behind us. We got a 0.1% chance to get Daniels at 53, and it actually happens.
Here we go. Gibbs, AJ Brown, JSN, Jalen Hurts, and Breece Hall going here to us. Yeah, I just like, I don't know, man. Like, I understand that some of the split and the work with Braylon and Isaiah Davis is like not ideal, but Breece Hall's talent, the pass catching role there at pick 53, I'm in on it. We do miss out on Devontae Smith. We had talked about that. He goes at the 4-5 turn. But the nice thing is when you get Hurts there, we still had the AJ Brown locked up. So the double stack would have been the cherry on top. But still, I mean, that's a really nice alpha stack to have there.
Okay, yeah, I would definitely want. Hopefully we can just get Olave. I mean, garbage offense sucks in a half PPR format, but usable weeks at least.
Yeah, no, I like Olave. I do a lot of Olave and Judy in this range, especially on a build like this where we have an elite quarterback, 2 running backs, just buying some targets there. We do get Olave.
Yeah, set up. I think like the issue is in an offense is going to have so few touchdowns in a half PPR format, like the spikes may not be there. Like I don't think we're winning week 17 with Olave, but I think he's going to get us through the season.
So let's make this this pick here. So
Judy's the auto pick.
Yes, Judy comes back. I was entertaining him when we took Olave before, so to get both of them there seems awesome. Here's the team so far. We promised to start scooping up wide receivers after starting with a couple of running backs and Jalen Hurts through 5 rounds. Gibbs, Breece Hall along with Hurts, AJ Brown, JSN, and then we come back. We get Olave right at ADP and then get to scoop up the Judy value. So looking good there. We're about to be on the clock at 8-8. What are you seeing on the board here?
I would like another receiver if we could. I think Jaden Higgins is still in play to have a big season. I think like coming soon, once you get to like Shaheed, Luther Burden, Rashad Bateman, so I never want to take receivers there. So if we can just get a couple more.
Let's do it. I think Higgins, especially in a room where like, this is a room where we can take on the rookie, right? I mean, AJ Brown, JSN, Olave, Judy, like I have no concerns about our targets that we have there. So let's take on a high upside swing.
Yeah, because it seems like, again, like Olave and Judy, the target shares in their offense are going to be great, but the issue is just the overall touchdowns hard to project. I mean, it wouldn't be the most surprising thing in the world if CJ Stroud the final 3 weeks is a top 3 quarterback in passing yards, passing touchdowns.
We are on the clock here, so Godwin is still here. Oh, I'm down. I've been doing it too. I'm now getting above weight on Godwin at these prices. I mean, like you said, Godwin sliding 4 picks past ADP when we got positive news is crazy to me. We are on the clock here.
I'm good with Ingram.
I was going to say, I mean, Ingram again sliding here. I'm kind of light on him, but man, Ingram at 116.
Why has he been sliding? Because I saw him in the stream last night sliding a decent bit.
I noticed that in my streams this morning as well. And I'm not sure. If anything, again, you would think, hey, Vele cleared out, another kind of over the middle, target guy. Not that Vele was going to impact Ingram's, but it's just gotten a cleaner, more condensed bet for the Broncos.
Yeah. And then with the Broncos, Mims goes here right after. That's something I have to take a massive L on. I was dunking on people taking Marvin Mims early in the offseason, going like, what the hell are y'all doing? This guy played 27% of the snaps last year. But Mims is looking like he had some good preseason usage. Can we see the wide receivers just because I want to
it's Ayuk, Joshua Palmer.
Yeah, we're not taking Ayuk. This is my point in like I only want to take 6, 7 wide receivers because I get to this point of the draft. I want to put myself in a position where we never have to take them. Can we take Scadaboo or David Njoku? Up to you.
Yeah, let's do Scadaboo. I've noticed Njoku falling a little bit, I think in tandem with the Harold Fannin buzz. Scadaboo at 125. Again, another guy who dropped because he wasn't practicing. There was injury stuff. He was back. He played in that final preseason game. And his price has gotten cheaper since that news.
I am underweight Scadaboo in general, but it's just because my take on the Giants backfield all offseason is just give me the cheaper guy. I have no idea who it's going to be. Early in the offseason, I was taking Tracy, but here the delta between them is what, like 30 picks?
Yeah.
I think it's easy. Just take the cheaper guy. What's your take on like, you get Jalen Hurts at the very end, could you go Daniel Jones, Rodgers and go with the 3 QB build?
For sure. It's funny you say that because it crossed my mind where I was like, if we missed out on a good value on Stroud, which we did, he went at 122. I was like, could we potentially do like Darnold and Daniel Jones, like on this team or something like that? Because we have JSN, so that stack would be nice. But yeah, I'm with you. Like Uber punt QB 2-3, even with an elite, and then you get those benefits we talked about of like, say Hurts crushes, gets us there, and then we're the only ones with a Darnold and Daniel Jones.
I'm fine with anybody. I would kind of prefer Goddard here.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, I think the double stack there after we missed out on Devontae is perfect.
Yeah, and I in general just think Dallas Goedert's the best pick on the board at this point. I like the idea of like, oh, we have the elite quarterback with Hurts. We think about what the rest of the player pool is doing with Jalen Hurts. They're probably only going to take 2 QBs. What happens if Jalen Hurts has a high ankle sprain, misses a good 6 weeks of the season, and we can advance the team because we just took 2 random bum quarterbacks at the very end, and we get to weeks 15, 16, 17, and Hurts is lower owned compared to the rest of the field.
What is your gut on, would you be at a 2 tight end or a 3 tight end build with Ingram and Goddard here?
I think it kind of depends on what we do over the next few rounds. I definitely think if we were to go with the 3rd tight end, we're not doing it until like round 17, round 18.
Yeah.
There's no way we can go Pitts in my opinion, but one thing we could do here is Bryce Young at quarterback, because we do have the optionality of like, I don't know if Legette's already gone, but we have the optionality of Legette, Coker, Jatavion Sanders. So I don't mind Bryce Young just because we like in comparison to Michael Penix stacking options are way slimmer. And obviously Penix doesn't have any rushing upside.
I'm good with Bryce. I've been trying to get more of him. The only other name, Samson, was kind of interesting to me as another running back at 149, but let's get Bryce. And then, I mean, we still could go a cheap QB3 if we wanted to, but
if we got one like super cheap, great value, maybe, but I'd assume that we're probably playing catch up elsewhere. I'm down for Tajay Spears if you want Spears.
I was going to say, I chilled on him. He was a guy I was aggressively drafting, but at 164, I'm ready to buy back in again.
Yeah.
The other guy I always kind of circle on Hurts teams when I don't have Barkley is Shipley. Is he on the menu for you?
That's actually a really interesting thought. I've never thought about it, but it makes so much sense because the way that Hurts smashes right with the pass catching options is Barkley gets hurt.
Exactly.
So I've never thought of it like taking Will Shipley on a Hurts team, but that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, because you get the double whammy. And it doesn't just have to be you could do it with other teams as well, where it's like they pass more and you get the backup running back vaulted in a starting role. Like you could do it with Penix and Algier, same kind of concept where you get the starting back and them throwing more without Bijan. So I like those quarterback backup RB pairings.
Honestly, that's such a good idea that I don't know how I've never thought of that. That alone made it so worth it to come on here. Like I'm going to start doing that all the time.
There you go.
That's genius. I can't believe I've never thought of that.
Well, happy I can return some value for your time this afternoon. And Shipley comes back. So I think we got to do it at this point.
Yeah, if you want to take him a second.
Do you want to amend your favorite Galbrain idea to this new thing of taking backup running backs?
I don't know how good you are with AI, but can you put that at the beginning? That was my idea.
Exactly. So we got 3 more picks here. Any guys you want to star and make sure we don't miss out on, or kind of just play the board as it comes?
I definitely would like a Panthers receiver if it's not too late, and Jatavion Sanders. I
put Coker in the queue. What else would be on your wish list here?
A tight end, and I know I just said typically I want to go super heavy wide receiver early this year and only grab 6 or 7, but I think we may take 2 wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, we can look at these running backs here if there's any others. I mean, the one thing, Rico Dowdle just went, because I was going to say, you could, again, do the backup running back thing, but he goes. Keaton Mitchell's the other kind of interesting guy, sometimes take. Otherwise, I think 5 running backs. I think we have the flexibility to do what
I think we for sure need one more receiver. I'd like another tight end. In that last spot, we can just do whatever.
Who would be your preferred third tight end? I'm just thinking how we order these picks.
So I like, if we want to scroll down for somebody, it's not the most unique pick because he was getting drafted earlier in the offseason, but I like Terrence Ferguson.
See, and I'm glad you went that way, because I'm like, with Ingram and Goddard, the third tight end, I like taking a big crack here. Yeah. Should we lock up Coker as our stack?
Yeah, I'm down to lock up Coker. I mean, it's a flat tier. Going back to trying to take players that haven't been drafted through the entire contest, DJ Giddens, my favorite running back here, but he's been drafted a ton. Chris Rodriguez hasn't been drafted at all. If we wanted a unique pick, I think Chris Rodriguez could be that.
And I will tell you, I was doing my streams this morning. Chris Rodriguez was going 2 rounds earlier than this in a good amount. So I think for this team, that 6th running back looks kind of nice, especially because we might not get much early season from Scatabo, Spears, Shipley. So it's nice to have a little extra body in there.
Yeah. And then again, what percentage? I mean, how much a BBM still needs to fill? 20%?
I think we're at 83% as of today. 83.6%.
Okay, so Chris Rodriguez will be drafted in 20% of the contest.
Maybe even less. I'm there, and then we can do Ferguson as our tight end 3.
I like the prospect profile. If you wanted to go Elijah Arroyo probably projects out a little bit better if he makes it to us. I'd be down with either rookie tight end, just whichever one you prefer.
I don't know. I guess who do you think's more of an impediment? AJ Barner to Arroyo or Higbee to Ferguson?
Considering I've known Tyler Higbee for years and the other dude you could have just made up right now, I'd say Tyler Higbee.
I think my true tiebreaker would be we have JSN on this one. So we are betting on the Seahawks passing game to be functional. But I think both these guys are probably similar bets. And we're just mining week 15 to 17 production, because Ingram and Goddard are going to carry us until we get there.
Yeah. I mean, Hayden Wink says round 18 tight ends are good. These 2 tight ends had decent prospect profiles.
The other nice thing about Arroyo is we get that, and I know you're not too hot on the bringbacks, but we do get the week 17 Bryce Young Seattle game here too.
Ooh, we get a Bryce Young, Jalen Coker, Elijah Arroyo, $2 million first place.
And JSN, we did it. All right, let me recap this final team. We'll get your thoughts. As far as the goals, the structure, we did hammer those early wide receivers, check mark there. Favorite player target, we danced around it. No Devontae Smith, but we got every single other player that you'd want on the Eagles. Favorite stack, we didn't do the late Daniel Jones thing, but we did get that. Hurts. Favorite Galbrain idea, I'm modifying. I'm saying the favorite Galbrain idea is your new running back and backup running back and quarterback there. Remind me again, what was your Galbrain idea?
Avoid running backs in rounds 4, 5, 6 this year and hammer in wide receivers instead. And we took Bric.
So red check, but hey,
we'll call Bric a round 3, 4 pick like he was earlier in the offseason.
And then favorite 18th round low owned dart. You mentioned Ollie Gordon. He got super expensive. We didn't even have a crack at him here, but we get Arroyo, Jalen Coker, Rodriguez as our cheap bets here. So we'll take the red check mark, but how do you feel about this team? I'll list it off real quick in full order. Hurts, Bryce Young, Gibbs, Breece Hall, Cam Scatabo, Tajay Spears, Will Shipley, and Chris Rod, AJ Brown, JSN, Chris Olave, Jerry Jeudy, Jaden Higgins, Chris Godwin, and Jalen Coker, and then Evan Ingram, Dallas Goedert, and Elijah Arroyo.
I think we'll have plenty of running back points, plenty of tight end points. My concern would be, how does the quarterback stack make sense to get us to week 17 and win it? And do we have enough wide receiver points?
Yeah, I think we're going to be good with the wide receiver stuff. I'm not too concerned about this. Honestly, like, this build is really balanced in a way that's exciting, because even though it's balanced, we have high-end spike week guys at every position. You know, Hurts, Gibbs, Breece, AJ Brown, JSN. And then I can squint and see ceiling games from Ingram and Goddard, especially if it's another down year for tight ends, where those guys are just keeping pace with the top 7-8 guys. So I think this is a pretty nicely constructed team.
Here's my issue with it, and let me know what you think.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong with this. Do you think we could advance either week 15 or week 16 with Bryce Young and Jalen Coker?
I think so.
Okay, because in my opinion, how I would view a team like this is that's kind of what would probably have to happen. Like, Hurts and AJ Brown go nuclear week 15. Week 16, we get a good Bryce Young performance, and then week 17, Hurts wins us the tournament.
Yeah, like Bric. So to give you, they play Tampa in week 16. That's another stack we have. We got the Bryce Young, with the Chris Godwin in 16. I'm very bullish on both the Panthers. I think Bryce Young's going to take the leap this year. He was the QB8 after their bye last year down the stretch, was rushing more. I think Coker's really good, especially if Thielen gets moved. So yeah, I can squint and I can see them being like in shootout games down the home stretch. I like how this one turned out, Mason.
Awesome. Well, thank you for teaching me to draft Will Shipley with Jalen Hurts.
Coming to a Fantasy Flock stream near you. Let the people know what they should check out, including the Fantasy Flock leagues. Those videos blowing up as people love sweating what you and your league mates are up to.
Yeah, just look up Flock on YouTube. A couple things will pop up. If you want to see a reality TV show league, look up Flock League on YouTube. And if you want to see me draft some BBM teams for the next few weeks, Flock Fantasy on YouTube.
There you go. Mason Dodd, appreciate your time. Subscribe to the channel, The Deposit Kingdom. We'll have a few more videos out here before the start of the season. Appreciate you all.